So I'm Francois. I am 34 years old. I am an industrial psychologist by profession. I'm the founder of Wamly. I am extremely passionate about everything that's life. I've had quite an interesting story growing up with heart conditions and some medical issues that made me, from a very young age, make a decision around how I want to go about in this world. You know, what type of life I want to live, what meaning and purpose I want to be chasing, influencing, leaving a legacy behind. And so what really energizes and gets me in life is to be very intentional around how I live, the decisions I make, the interactions I have, the relationships I build, try to be really present in the moments, irrespective of the context and what I'm doing. And yeah, just being able to influence and have a great experience with people and with life and just be really present. Wamly really was born as a technology, a self-service, self-sufficient software that enables clients to set up one-way interviews, where the technology will facilitate the interview without you actually having to be present as the panel. And so you get to build your own questions, add candidates, add your panel, and then sit back. And then the technology takes over and it facilitates that entire interview process, recording the candidate's answers in a time frame set by you as the administrator or the HR individual, and then you can review those videos in your own time the moment the candidates are done with the interview. And so just from a value perspective, being able to optimize that process, and you know, really, Mark, Wamly was before COVID a nice to have, whereas now really it is a must have. More and more we're seeing organizations having to reimagine, change, configure, optimize how they do things. And at times I believe HR and specifically the recruitment piece might have been left behind from an innovation and using technology perspective. And so Wamly really is proudly South African. We are the largest service provider of one-way video interviews in the country, expanding globally at the moment, really excited about the journey and where we're going. But ultimately it's to help you hire better people faster. I think this is a phenomenal question because a lot of what we've been trying to do and doing the last year is education, trying to educate the market. One-way or asynchronous video interview is relatively new, specifically in the South African and African context. And so what is it? It is an interview that is facilitated via technology without all the stakeholders having to be involved. And typically one-way interview is used earlier in your process. So we absolutely still believe that face-to-face interviews is relevant, but don't interview everybody on your shortlist face-to-face. Put them through a one-way solution such as Wamly. Get your panel to review those videos and then from there decide who are the top 2 or 3 candidates that you actually do want to spend face-to-face time with. Because so often, early in the process, the requirements and the CV and the candidate, they don't match. And so we get falsely influenced by a CV, someone rocks up to a face-to-face interview and immediately you can make a decision around will they actually make it in your organization or not. Why Wamly? Well, firstly, I can't help but say that yes, we're proudly South African. We know what we want to do, we know what we want to build, we know what we're not. So we definitely don't want to replace the entire process. If you have an ATS, an applicant tracking system, or if you have an entire HRIS system, that's fantastic, we'll integrate with that. Wamly is there for a specific piece in the process earlier when you have a long list of candidates, put them through, watch the one-ways at your own convenient time and then decide who you want to see face-to-face. So Wamly started as a product in my consulting firm a couple of years ago. It was something I was playing around with. It wasn't something that I definitely at that point in time thought I would set out and build a business around only. And one of the clients I used Wamly back then on was the bean counter, Marnus Broderick's, who's now my business partner, his business, and he saw the product, absolutely loved it, and then approached me in the beginning of last year, just before COVID started, and said, look, Fran, I think this is incredible. Let's, build this into a business. And so really from, conception 2018 to launching Wamly officially, we've probably now been going 14, 15 months. And yeah, it's been a phenomenal journey, and talking to the point of being proudly South African. For us, it's all about context. And when you are building a tech company, very often the local environment and the context and the unique challenges involved with your context could potentially be ignored or forgotten or left behind. And so if you consider an app that needs to be working on multiple hundreds of devices, different browsers, different providers, different areas in South Africa, we know that the internet and bandwidth and connectivity isn't that great everywhere like it is here in Sandton. So how do you build an app that caters for everybody? Because ultimately, Mark, we believe that we are addressing the high unemployment rate in South Africa by providing an application to enable an opportunity for someone who might have not been able to go to an interview because of their unique individual circumstances. Where now with Wamly, we're seeing this being deployed across South Africa, all the neighboring countries, right up into the DRC, working. Informal settlements, someone sitting with a Wamly, doing a Wamly interview, presenting themselves, giving themselves an opportunity to actually land a job, which is phenomenal for us. Then going back to South Africa, you've got Poppy. You've got BEE, you've got local support, local understanding of where the market is, where the level of candidates are, the type of individuals you're working with, the type of clients. We understand the local challenges from a recruitment perspective, from understanding how to build a business, where to source talent, where to find talented individuals. I mean, if you go and look at sport, if you go and look at all these areas in the country, the point is, where do we find the golden nuggets? Like, how do we give equal opportunity for everybody? And we believe through Wamly and being a local provider, our ears are on the ground, we're here. It's easy for a client to talk to us, to get support, to share with us their unique challenges, their context, where they would like the app to go. And fundamentally, while we're building Wamly, that's exactly what we're doing, is we're gathering feedback from the clients contextually to this market, because we absolutely believe if we can nail it here, we'll nail it everywhere in the world. Firstly, partnership. I think I soon realized that I won't be able to do this by myself, especially with a big dream and a big vision in mind. Building a tech company is not easy. The tech and the development never stops. You've got multiple departments, multiple things to think about. And so who do you partner with? Both from a business partner perspective, from an employee perspective, from a service provider perspective, and then really understanding who are your clients. Who is that ideal client, and trying to really understand and navigate that. And then from there, focus. Like, it was so easy for us. We had so many clients prompting us with multiple ideas around building Wamly or adding onto Wamly other elements that would make sense from a recruitment flow perspective. And really being able to remain focused on what do we want to build? Where do we believe is the gap? Where do we believe can we create the most efficiency? Because so often business owners get pulled and tugged into multiple directions around ideas and thoughts and innovations, and you never really actually end up building a business if you're just focusing on ideas the whole time. So I guess those two would really come to mind. Yeah. So firstly, I think we want to continue to focus on the South African context. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of corporates out there, small, medium, large, whatever the size of business, that are still doing recruitment and interviews in the old traditional way. So there's a massive opportunity for us still in the South African market to deliver a service for them, and then go into the African continent, and then ultimately global. I think that's the great thing about this business, is it is scalable. The solution is tech, it's in the cloud, self-sufficient, and definitely to go global. We, from a team perspective, are continuously growing. We just moved offices from a really small office to a bigger office now because of the growth in the team. So from a tech perspective, building out the tech team, they are absolutely phenomenal. I think people really, at times, don't always see the value that the techs provide because, they aren't in front of the camera. But I mean, our tech team is incredible, so we'll continue to grow that. We'll build out the sales team, we'll build out the account management team, the support staff. From a systems perspective, we'll grow. So organically doing that, really excited about the decisions we have to make to do this, because we want to be very careful around when do we do what. not just throw people at a problem, but really understand it from a systems perspective, from a paid marketing perspective, understanding where the landscape wants to go, and then be able to grow from there. Oh, this sounds cheesy, but I think most people will say it's unique, culture, context, environment, all the different flavors. For me personally, what I really love about South Africa is the honesty. I think in South Africa, you very quickly get to hear where people are, what they think, what they want, what they don't want, why you're not good for them, why they love you. So very few people in South Africa beat around the bush, in my opinion. That's really made it easier for us to understand where to go and where not to go. Yeah. Parting thoughts, I guess, don't ever believe anything's impossible. I read a book, walked up to someone in a lounge, introduced myself, and the next moment we're business partners growing this phenomenal business. So if you can see it, if you can dream it, if you can visualize it, it can really happen. That sounds super cheesy, but it's happened to me many times in my career, because that's absolutely what I believe, and as well as in life. How to get hold of us, Wamly.io. You can Google video interview software, one-way video interview software, go straight to our website, Wamly.io. Francois at Wamly.io. We're on all the socials, LinkedIn. You can find us everywhere and anywhere. We offer a free consultation online with our amazing team that will literally take you through the process, demo Wamly to you, show it to you, launch a vacancy with you from end to end, show you the value, and yeah, definitely an offer. If we can't help you reduce your hiring time by 50%, we'll give you your money back.